Okay, so I want to start a new series of a game development in Godot. This is the first time I've used Godot. All my previous videos were using Unity or Unreal, and also making assets in Blender. But I want to challenge myself to see if, how well I can learn a third engine. So I did I watched some tutorials on YouTube and put together some notes, and I want to see how well I do. So the first thing I noticed about Godot is you don't have to install anything. So this is basically you download the zip file and then you extract all, and then it spits out this folder. And if I open this up, um, you just double click the first option, and then right away press create, and I want to call this Goth project, and I'm going to put it under a folder that I made. I guess I can only save to C. Okay, I guess it looks like I can only save to C. So I'm going to open this up. I'll go to my C drive, and I'll cut and paste my Godot projects folder into my C. So there's my Godot projects. I guess I'll just leave this open because I'll probably want access to it. So C, Godot projects, select current folder, Goth projects, and then create. And then right away it opens up the window. So while that's loading up, I'm going to go to my Godot projects folder. So it's got this Goth project. So I'll create another folder within that called Goth. Let's call it Goth for the Goth character. And I'm going to call this, create another folder called animations. So one other difference between Godot and the other engines, Unreal and Unity, is that Unreal and Unity utilize FBX, but Godot apparently uses GLB files. So I'm going to quickly export some of the animations. Basically, if you don't know how to create models and animations, I've got lots of other videos, so I'm not going to repeat it in this series. I'm just going to point you to the other videos if you want to know how to model and rig and texture and things like that. I've got lots of other videos. So once you've created the armature with the models bound to the armature, then all you do is create any geometry associated with the rig. You select the armature, and you press File, Export, and in this case we're doing GLTF 2.0, which is GLB. And the settings that I am working with are under Include, Limit to Selected Objects, under Selected Objects, Transform, make sure plus Y is up. Under animation, why am I not seeing it? Okay, sorry. Under data, skinning has to be checked, and I'm looking for open all these up. Okay, I don't see it. There's supposed to be export. Oh, under skinning. Nope, that's not it. Mesh. Material. Okay, I don't see it. So within this goth animation folder, actually outside of it, oh sorry, I'm in the wrong. I go to C, go to projects, goth projects, goth. In here, I'm going to put goth default pose, export. And then I'm going to go open up my idle, make sure everything's selected, the armature and the any relevant geometry, export GLB, include selected objects, make sure Y up, apply modifiers, and skinning has to be checked, and then make sure I'm in the right folder, Godot projects, goth, and the animations, I'll do export. I need to go back to my default file because I forgot one thing. Default pose. Everything's selected, so export. Include selected objects. Plus Y needs to be up. Skinning is checked. Under mesh, apply modifiers. And just make sure I go to the correct folder and overwrite what I already did. And I need to do two more. I need to do walk, open walk. What's going on here? Okay. I'm going to delete this. Okay, so I've managed to change or to reload the textures. So I just need to change the name of this to the original name because I deleted the other one. And then make sure the animation is playing, that's good. Make sure everything's selected that I need. And export GLB, selected objects, Y up, mesh, apply modifiers, and make sure skinning is checked, and then export to the appropriate folder. So animations, got the idle there. Now I'm going to export walk. And now that that's done, I'm going to open up the one last one, which is run. And hopefully there's no extra armature here. Okay, perfect. Okay, so seems like everything's selected. File, export, GLTF 2.0, include selected objects, plus Y up. Oops, mesh, apply modifiers, and make sure skinning is selected. C drive, Godot projects, and the animation folder. Export. Okay, so I can close Blender, and I want to hop in here. It says it's importing assets. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to create other node, and I'm going to go for node 3D, and I'm going to rename this world. I'm going to add a child called mesh instance 3D. I'm going to rename this ground. Oops. But I'm going to keep the mesh instance 3D at the end of it just to remind myself what kind of an object it was. And then I'm going to go do mesh, and I'm going to do plane, and I'll change the size of it. Click this to unlink, to unlock it, and I'll just do 20 by 20. Up here, I'm going to create collision shape. I'm going to change this to static body child and do try mesh here, and then create. That's going to give it collision so the player doesn't go through it. And just up here, these three dots, add sun to scene, add environment to scene, and I'm going to save scene as. First I need to create a folder called scenes. Scenes, and I'll just save it as world.tscn. Okay, so right after that, I'm going to press this to create another scene, and this is going to be the character. So for here, I'm going to do other node. Instead of node 3D, I'm going to do character body 3D. And I'll just name this player 3D. To here, I'm going to drag and drop the default pose of the character, the GLB file that I exported. So this is the one without animations. I'm going to parent it under the player 3D. I'm going to right click. I'm going to look for collision shape 3D, double click, and the type is going to be a capsule shape. Puts it right at the world origin, so I'm just going to bring it up. My character's 2 units high, so I'm just going to bring this up 1 unit. And I guess if I click here, then it gives me all these options here, so I'll try 0.2 for the radius. So I just want it to be, you know, just big enough to surround the center of his body. And I'm going to quickly save scene as, I'll call it player 3D. I'm going to go back into the world. What I'm going to do is go into this scene folder, and I'm going to drag and drop this player 3D TSCN that I just created. So I'm basically taking this scene and dumping it here, and I'll just go ahead and put it into the center. I'm going to go back here, save the world, I'm going to go back to my okay, so here I'm going to create another node 3D, and I'm going to call this the camera pivot. And I'm going to bring it up to maybe his neck. And from here, I'm going to, instead of right clicking here, I'm going to right click on the camera pivot, and I'm going to create a spring arm. And I'm going to right click on the spring arm, I'm going to do a camera 3D. So as you can see, oops, the spring arm is pointing in the wrong direction. So I need to turn this around 180 degrees. And the spring length is 1 unit, or it says 1 meter, which is from his neck to about here. You can see like this little dark blue line, dark green line or whatever. I like to be a little bit longer, so I'll make it like 3. And at runtime, this camera, which is at his neck, should snap right to the end. I'm going to select the camera pivot in camera 3D, and I'm going to right click and access as unique name, which gives these percentage signs, and this means that these are accessible in the script. So in order to make all this stuff work, I need to select the top of the root node and press this button here. Okay, so with this open, everything should be good except for this one here. This character body 3D basic movement is a script that comes with Godot. It's already like set up. What I want to do is I want to create an empty, because I want to try and create one from scratch. And then object empty, and then create. The unique thing about Godot compared to Unreal and Unity is that you don't have to compile. Everything automatically updates, so that's kind of an interesting note. Okay, so right away I'm going to start coding. This is my first time making a Godot game, so I don't understand everything that happens. This is how I actually learned. When I learned Unity and Unreal, I didn't really understand what was going on at first, but I learned by doing. So eventually, over a long period of time, I'll understand what all this stuff means. But I understand the basic gist of it. I just don't know everything about the language. Oops. So at export underscore group camera at export group range 0, 1, and outside of that var for I think variable, mouse sensitivity 0.25, and I'm going to create a variable camera input direction vector 2.0. So I'm just going to go ahead and code everything, and I'll just try to explain what I think everything is. Then I'm going to create a function. I'm going to call it unhandled input event void. And under this function, I'm doing variable is camera motion. Event is input event mouse motion. I think it's looking for mouse movement, and input dot get mouse mode equals I guess I should do this second line. Input dot mouse mode captured. So event is so it's checking to see if it's captured. So outside of this, I'm going to do if is camera motion camera input direction equals event dot screen relative times mouse sensitivity. Okay, so is camera motion So it's a variable to see if camera is moving, if there is mouse movement, and if the camera or if the mouse is, I think, inside the game viewport. If this is true, then camera input direction. Okay, I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to come back to that. So I want to create some variables. So at on ready variable camera pivot node 3D equals %sign camera pivot. So I'm getting reference to this camera pivot. Oh, node 3D. There we go. Right below that, under here, I'm going to create another function called physics. Move this down one more line. Physics process delta float void. You do camera pivot dot rotation dot x plus equals camera underscore input underscore direction dot y times delta I'm not sure why it's giving me an error. Oh, I know why. There we go. Oh, that's not it either. Direction. There we go. Okay. Underscore camera underscore pivot dot rotation dot x equals clamp underscore camera underscore pivot dot rotation dot x minus pi divided by 6.0 comma pi divided by 3.0 camera pivot dot rotation dot y minus equals camera in dot x times delta and camera input direction equals vector 2 dot 0. So basically I think camera input direction, this is calculating, is taking I guess the mouse movement and trying to translate it into camera pivot. I think that's what this this is. Up here I'm going to create another function. This is going to be underscore input events void if event dot is action pressed. Oh, the one thing that I forgot to do is I forgot to create inputs. So I'm going to go to project settings, and then under input map I need to create the keys. So forward, add, back, add, left, add, right, add, action, which is like attack or interact with object. So any action, I'm going to add that. I'll do run. I'm going to need jump at some point, and I'll do quit, and I just need to add the sign keys. So for forward, it's going to be the W, so I'm just using the typical WSAD. So W for forward, back is going to be S, left is going to be A, right is going to be D, action is going to be left mouse button, run is going to be right mouse button, jump is going to be oops. Where the heck is it? I'm looking for spacebar. Okay, I'm not going to worry about jump right now. I'm just going to do Q for quit. Okay, so that's good. So I'm going to hop back here. So if is action pressed, dot mouse mode captured. So if as soon as the game starts and the player presses the left mouse button, then the mouse mode is captured, and I think that's when the cursor disappears. The mouse cursor disappears. If event is action pressed, quit, then the input dot mouse underscore mode equals input dot mouse mode visible. So as soon as the quit button is pressed, then then it's visible again. So the player can go ahead and close the window, for instance. Input dot mouse mode visible. I'm not sure what I did wrong here. Oh, it's mouse mode, not move mode. Sorry. And then I need to go back here. Go back to 3D view. So in the spring arm, there's a shape. This basically means collision. So I'm going to do a sphere shape 3D. And I don't really see it. So basically what this does is it moves along with the camera. So if the camera at the beginning of the game moves back, the sphere collider moves with it, I believe. And this is what is going to help the camera not move, go through walls or the ground or whatever. If it collides, just say with the wall back here, then it will like move forward along the spring arm. So that's one thing that I had to do, and then make sure collision mask is 1, because in the world the ground instance is 1. So it's only going to collide with anything that's in the number 1 collision mask. So back to script. If we go back to the top, export group movement, export variable move speed, export variable acceleration, and below here on ready variable underscore camera 3D equals %sign camera 3D. So I'm getting reference to this camera and storing it as this variable. I don't know what the difference between onReady and export is. I guess onReady is I'm grabbing something as to where here I'm declaring values. Maybe, I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to have to look into that. Under physics process, so right here, the variable raw input dot, whoops, get vector move, oh sorry, so these are the direction keys that I assigned in the input manager. Variable forward, camera underscore camera global basis dot z, variable right equals camera dot global underscore basis dot x. I'm going to check my spelling here. So I think this one's pretty obvious. I'm just getting the vector of the character movement. I'm using the inputs that I created to store the vector into this variable, raw input. I'm storing the forward movement, the forward vector and the right vector into these variables of the camera. So this is the input, the player input, and this is the camera directions, or the vectors. Move direction. Move direction equals forward times raw underscore input dot y plus right times raw input dot x. Move direction. I'm not sure what. Okay, so I know what the problem is. I need to do, instead of a period, I need to do underscore there. Stupid little typos. Move underscore direction dot y equals 0. So the reason why we're doing that is that we don't want the mouse movement to rotate the character. Just say the camera pivot is rotating up and down like this, then we don't want that to translate in the player rotating like this. The character is only going to rotate left and right. So basically, by constantly setting the move direction y to 0, it keeps it not rotating in the pitch. Okay. Move direction equals move direction dot normalized velocity equals velocity dot move underscore toward move underscore direction times move speed acceleration times delta. So I think this is the thing that calculates the movement. I think this is what pushes it forward. And I'm not sure what this is, but I think this is what keeps the character moving. This is move and slide. But I'll just, I'm going to figure it out later on. I'm going to go to the 3D view. I'm going to select the GLB, the Goth default pose. And I'm going to right click, I want to access unique name, so make kind of like the camera pivot in Camera 3D. It's going to be accessible in the script. So back in the script, create some more variables at already variable underscore, let's call it skin. Okay, sorry, this is not, I was just following whatever the person had. It's not skin name, this is node 3D. Variable last movement direction equals vector 3 back. So under physics process, I'm going to add more stuff. If move direction dot length is greater than 0.2, last movement direction equals move direction. 2. Mine underscore last movement direction vector 3 dot up. If I put this down here. Okay, that's not working. Back up here, I'm going to do export variable rotation speed is equal to 12, and then at the bottom here forgot to do skin dot global underscore rotation dot y. Originally it was target angle, but I'm going to replace it with lerp underscore angle underscore skin dot rotation dot y to the target underscore angle rotation speed times delta. So it's rotating the skin, which is the Goth default pose, to the target angle, which is this. The target angle is whatever's calculated here. So far no errors. Under physics process. Variable called ground speed equals velocity length. Actually, I don't think I need this. Okay, so I quickly want to check this out, so I'm just going to I don't know why it does that. Whatever. I'm going to hit play, which is this button right here. Then when you press it for the first time, it says you need to specify which is the main scene. So I'll just I'm going to go here, press play again, and I'll select current. And so far, oh, there we go. So if I go down here, it collides. So everything's working beautifully. So if I just say rotate the camera around and I press forward, then he rotates to the direction that the camera's facing. If I face this way, I can move forward this way. If I move backwards, then it moves backwards towards the camera. Left in relation to the camera, right in relation to the camera. So if I press quit, the Q, then I can see my cursor again, and I can just go and close this. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this video. So I've got all the camera and the basic movement working. Obviously the thing that's missing is the animations, so I'm going to save that for the next video. I think this video is long enough.